About a year ago, I received a letter from a woman who indicated to me that she was grateful that Resurrection Behavioral Health had helped give her and her husband their lives back. And as I read further into the letter, it seemed that the woman lived with her husband, who was an avid gardener, and he had actually won prizes for the tulips that he raised. And she began noticing that he no longer tended the garden with the usual zeal, that he was allowing it to fall into neglect, that he didn't care for the house anymore, for the appearance of the house. And ultimately, he began communicating less and less with her, and she couldn't understand what was wrong. They visited 2 primary care physicians to see if there might be a physical problem, and they were told that the blood work was fine, so they returned home without any treatment. Well, it so happened that this woman attended one of our Resurrection Behavioral Health Depression screenings, which we offer at no charge to the community at large several times a year. And she listened to one of our clinicians giving a presentation on the symptoms of depression. And although she didn't recognize herself in the symptoms, she recognized her husband in the symptoms. So immediately upon returning home, she called our Central Access Department and arranged to bring her husband in to see one of our psychiatrists. He was started on medication, and within 2 or 3 weeks, he began communicating with her again, and she wasn't sure how much she could hope for as a result of this psychiatric treatment, but she felt hopeful. And she says at the end of her letter, she knew that her hopes were realized in full when, after about 5 weeks of treatment, she awoke, looked out of her bedroom window, and she saw a rake and a hoe laying in the lawn. And she wasn't sure she dared to look into the garden bed to see if her husband might be gardening again. And she did, and sure enough, there he was, planting again. So she was grateful for Resurrection Behavioral Health having brought a flowery spring back into their lives.